video, we are going to recap a movie called Red Sparrow. Spoilers ahead. The movie starts by weaving between the lives of two central characters in Russia. Dominika Egorova, a renowned ballerina, shoulders the responsibility of caring for her ailing mother. Leaving her mother under the care of a hired helper, Dominika heads to the theater, where she meticulously readies herself, donning costumes and applying makeup. Her uncle, Ivan Egorov, an operative in the Russian Secret Service, introduces her to Dmitry Ustinov, a Russian gangster who crosses boundaries during their encounter. As Dominika dazzles on stage, tragedy strikes when her dancing partner inadvertently breaks her leg. Rushed into surgery, Dominika's life takes an unexpected turn. Simultaneously, we delve into the world of Nate Nash, a CIA agent decoding a secret meeting location prompted by an automated call. Armed and ready, Nate finds himself pursued after arriving at the rendezvous. A mysterious figure, codenamed Marble, adds complexity to the situation. Nate's escape leads him to a confrontation with the police near the American embassy, where he learns about the safety of the asset but faces consequences for his actions. The following day, Uncle Ivan consults with Colonel Zakharov and General Korkman about a video revealing Nate's CIA affiliation, with emphasis on identifying another person in the footage. Shifting to Dominika's perspective, we find her waking up in a hospital, distraught over her broken leg that shatters her ballet dreams. Months later, Ivan informs her of a replacement and the theater's support for her mother's medical needs, which will soon cease. Expressing a desire to help, Ivan leaves an envelope for Dominika, unveiling shocking pictures and a recording that expose her former partner's betrayal. Fueled by anger, Dominika seeks revenge on her unfaithful partner and his new companion in a heated confrontation at the theater. Returning home, she discovers her mother distressed as the caretaker stopped coming due to unpaid wages. Faced with desperation, Dominika turns to her uncle for assistance, leading to an agreement. Information about Ustinov in exchange for help from the Secret Service. Ivan, driven by a strategic motive, urges Dominika to approach Ustinov, befriend him, and gain his trust through her charms. Initially hesitant, Dominika resists, but Ivan successfully persuades her by highlighting the dire conditions of state hospitals and promising the best medical care for her mother. That night, Dominika, clad in the dress provided by Ivan, arrives at the hotel where Ustinov is staying. She waits at the bar for his approach, and he does. In a bid to make Ustinov feel special, Dominika invites him to her room after informing the guards of their need for privacy. Once alone, their intimate moment is abruptly interrupted by a mysterious man in a black helmet who disposes of Ustinov and leads Dominika out through a back door. They ride away on his bike to an empty building, where the man reveals himself as Sergei Mathorin, another Secret Service agent sent by Ivan. Meanwhile, Ivan and General Korkman observe Dominika through security cameras in another room of the same building. Sergei offers Dominika a choice. Due to her skills, she can be trained as an agent in a special institution. If she refuses, he cannot guarantee her safety. A couple of days later, Dominika leaves for the institution, greeted by Matron, the headmistress of Sparrow School, who assigns her a fake name. Classes begin shortly after. Matron emphasizes the chaotic state of the modern world and Russia's willingness to make sacrifices to rectify it. The students, including Dominika, are trained to become sparrows, specialized spies skilled in seduction and psychological manipulation. During a class, Matron instructs Dominika and another student, Victor, to strip. Victor complies easily, but Dominika hesitates, earning a scolding. Simultaneously, Nate faces consequences in the USA, being suspended by the CIA's discipline panel for his mistake in Russia. He argues that Marble has been working with him for 3 years, but his pleas are ignored. Back at Sparrow School, Matron underscores the importance of identifying targets' desires and teaches basic seduction techniques. Meanwhile, Nate realizes he is being followed in the USA and informs his superiors, revealing the lack of communication from Marble. He seizes the opportunity to assert that he'll talk only if he contacts Marble. As the students at Sparrow School are asked to welcome returning soldiers, Dominika selects a young man and successfully provides him with comfort in her room. Later that day, Matron and the students gather to watch videos capturing their interactions with the soldiers. Matron commends Dominika on her technique. Simultaneously, Ivan Korkner and Zakharov discuss Nate's relocation to Budapest. Back at Sparrow School, Matron identifies potential in Dominika. She is allowed to return to class, but Matron once again calls her to the front. Cortina observes through a security camera as Dominika is shown a picture of Victor and asked about his desires. Instructed by Matron, Dominika takes control of the situation, refusing Victor's request to turn around and provoking him to focus only on her. Victor's failure to perform leads him to flee, impressing Cortina. Shortly after, Matron privately informs Dominika that she will be sent back to Moscow. Days later, while reuniting with her mother, Dominika receives a call instructing her to meet Ivan at a restaurant. At the meeting, Ivan explains her upcoming mission. She is to be sent to Budapest to befriend Nate and uncover the identity of the mole. Ivan provides her with a new passport and documents under a different name. Upon reaching Budapest, Dominika moves into an apartment shared with another sparrow named Marta. She meets her new boss, Maxim Volantov, the station chief, and seeks information about Nate. Following Nate to learn his daily routine, Dominika starts going to the same swimming pool. When they engage in small talk, she plays hard to get, weaving a story about working as a translator for the embassy. However, the next day, Nate is absent from the pool, and the receptionist informs Dominika that her identification has gone missing. Nate suspects a connection to Ivan, but believes she still has value. Nate's superiors allow him to get closer to her to gather information. Reporting progress to Volantov and requesting an embassy pass, Dominika visits the embassy and observes Marta conversing with Stephanie Boucher, an American politician. Nate interrupts and admits to stealing her ID from the pool, inviting her to join him for dinner. The following day at 8 in the morning, Dominika agrees to a request, and as she departs, back in her apartment, she embarks on a search of Marta's room. To her surprise, Dominika uncovers evidence that Marta has been procuring intelligence from Boucher. Marta returns home without catching Dominika in the act, unaware of her discovery. Dominika manages to secure a copy of the report Volantov sent to Moscow. After her workday, Dominika tails Volantov into a bar, provocatively requesting a better report. She taunts him about his size, escalating to violence. Sergei's violent actions are captured on security cameras, and Dominika warns him of potential police involvement unless he provides an improved report. Back at Nate's apartment, he receives another coded message on his phone, swiftly deciphering it to reveal the word Vienna. Just as Nate is about to leave, a tearful Dominika rings his doorbell, revealing that she was assaulted by her boss. Concerned, Nate allows her in, and Dominika discloses the events in Russia's park, leading to a shared kiss. Nate advises Dominika to go home and contemplate her desires. The next day, Ivan visits Dominika, inquiring about her progress with Nate. She lies, claiming to work with Marta on the Boucher case but needing additional funds. Ivan agrees, and while obtaining his coat, Dominika secretly glances at his passport. Marta confronts Dominika, having overheard the lie, upset that she thought the Boucher case was exclusively hers. Dominika promises credit and more money, explaining her lie was to buy extra time. Marta reluctantly agrees due to limited options. Later, Dominika goes to Vienna to open a bank account, while Marta informs Volantov that she knows how to eliminate Dominika. Nate reports to his superiors about his meeting with Marta, and the files provided confirm Dominika's affiliation as a sparrow. Dominika finds Nate waiting for her outside, and they return to his place. Nate confesses he knows she is a sparrow, and Dominika reciprocates by sharing her story, emphasizing her concern for her mother's well-being. Nate proposes she becomes a double agent for him, assuring protection. Dominika, needing time to think, requests Nate's room to rest. Later in the night, she joins Nate in bed, and the next morning, after confirming her acceptance of his proposition, Dominika resumes her routine. She fabricates a false report about Nate, claiming to have him under her control, and returns home to wait for his signal, a simple phone call playing her favorite song. Dominika meets with Nate's superiors and undergoes a polygraph test to determine her trustworthiness. On the upcoming Friday, the entire team embarks on a journey to London for a crucial meeting with Boucher. Dominika, however, remains discreetly positioned in a specially arranged hotel room, equipped with security cameras to meticulously monitor her activities. Beneath a desk lies a concealed set of discs, part of her elaborate plan to substitute them with genuine ones later. As Dominika waits at the bar for Boucher, Volantov unexpectedly appears. With precision, Dominika directs him to her room, aiming to avoid alarming Boucher. Soon after, Boucher arrives, and Dominika approaches her, explaining that Marta sent her. Though Shia is displeased with the change, Dominika convinces her to stay by threatening her with compromising photographs and mentioning the monetary aspect. Both women move to Dominika's room, where Volantov awaits. Boucher hands over the discs in exchange for money, and Dominika, feigning authenticity checks on her computer, discreetly swaps them with the CIA's copies. Dominika and Volantov depart, instructing Boucher to wait an hour before leaving. However, in her impatience and intoxicated state, Boucher departs shortly afterward. As she reaches the street, Boucher realizes she is being followed, instigating fear. In a panic, she throws the money into a trash can, hastily crossing the street and tragically getting hit by a truck. In a car, Dominika and Volantov receive the news and must return to Moscow immediately. Ivan takes Dominika's passport, and upon reaching Moscow, he takes the discs from Volantov and arrests him. Dominika skillfully manipulates Ivan, securing her release to return home. However, tainted by the events, she prevents her mom from hugging her. After a challenging meeting with Korknut and Zakharov, Dominika awaits Ivan in his apartment. He informs her that her request to continue working on Nate has been granted, and before leaving, she kisses him. Returning to Budapest, Dominika meets Nate, and they go to his apartment, where suspicions about her quick release arise. Dominika convinces Nate to relocate her and her mom to America and provide more money, which he agrees to. They become intimate, but in the middle of the night, Dominika wakes up to Sergei torturing Nate. She initially pretends to be on Sergei's side, but when he becomes distracted, she aids Nate in freeing himself. Sergei slips the next day, and Dominika wakes up in the hospital. Leaving her room, she is approached by Kortner, who reveals himself as Marble. Aware of his imminent capture, he asks Dominika to expose him as the mole, offering her a chance to become a national hero. Dominika doesn't provide a definitive answer but checks on Nate before turning herself in to the police. She requests to see the Russian ambassador and instructs him to call Zakharov, revealing that she possesses the mole's name. A meeting is arranged at an airport for the exchange, where Nate accompanies Dominika. If she attempts to escape, she will be shot. Nate is angry, believing she manipulated him, but Dominika surprises him when Ivan's face is revealed as the mole, framed by her false evidence since her first visit to Budapest. After the exchange, Ivan is shot by a Russian sniper, and Dominika is taken away in a helicopter. Back in Russia, Dominika is hailed as a hero and can lead a good life with her mother. The movie concludes with Dominika receiving a phone call